Hello, you guys, and welcome to another episode of Hot Mess Momlennials. I'm Keisha.
And I'm Shawnee.
And we are
Hot Mess Momlennials. And today we have a very special guest, someone who is family to me, one of Liam's godmothers, because he has two, because I'm that extra. So he has two of them. And we have Mrs. Christina Mason. She is let's give her
give that lady her flowers.
Okay, all right.
What Carisha say? You know it's tea when you see them two fingers touching. Okay, we're going to give her all of that.
All right.
Anyway.
Christina is a licensed professional counselor in Texas and licensed mental health counselor in Washington, and the founder of The Path Within. Christina has over a decade of experience working with parents, caregivers, and adults navigating ADHD, reparenting themselves while parenting, we're all there, and learning how to slow down patterns that no longer serve them. Her work centers culturally responsive care and helping people live in ways that feel honest, sustainable, and aligned, especially for moms who are healing in real time. You can relate to that. I think we all can relate to that.
Yeah, I was about to say, she looked me dead in my face like I am the poster child and is, and I am.
So this is a conversation I know so many of us, myself included, need. So let's go ahead and welcome Christina, our first guest of season 2. This is season 2, brand new to me.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hey, gracias. Thank you.
So, Christina, we're going to jump right into it, okay? One of the things that I think we both share, like I had mentioned to you, recently I was diagnosed with ADHD, and it was so comforting to also know that you were diagnosed with ADHD. And also Keisha believes that she should be diagnosed and is seeking
psychiatric help.
Yes. And I love that this conversation is being had. It needs to be had. Así que, échale. Dinos de eso.
We are a bilingual podcast today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Disclaimer.
Spanglishing it today.
Yeah.
Black bitches that know Spanish.
So,
Go ahead.
So I think late diagnosed ADHD is something that's been happening a lot. We've seen a little bit more of it. You hear like, oh, it's an epidemic. I think that we just didn't know enough about it before. I think women show up with like less disruptive symptoms. And I mean, we're honest, right? Women are less heard.
In every aspect.
In the medical field. Yeah, right. Everywhere. So it's, and we're also taught to like carry so much more. I have to actively remind myself that my daughter is still like, she's a kid just like my sons, right? Like, but I was taught to carry so much, right? So I have to actively remind myself that. So I think that that it shows up in women very differently. I think we see it, the late diagnosis, we're seeing a lot more because when we become moms, and that huge shift, both hormonally, but also like life, right? We probably had skills that took care of us,
coping mechanisms,
when we were single by ourselves. Yeah, exactly. So that we could do on our own, right? And then we had this kid, this whole human, and now we have to figure it out with two people. So along with hormones and estrogen and being a big part of making dopamine, all that good stuff, we're seeing a big jump in late diagnosis.
How have you seen this as it relates to ethnic women? We're pretty much at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to anything, like you said, medically.
Yeah. I hear a lot of I have to help clients know the right words to say when they go to the doctors, right? Because it's easy to be like, it's just anxiety, it's just depression. I think both of us probably got diagnosed with anxiety and depression prior to getting our ADHD diagnoses, right? So that happens a lot. So like helping clients advocate for themselves, know what to say, where, like, make sure that they're standing up for themselves. We see it a lot more. And then there's also the family aspect when it comes to like minorities, right? I don't know what, like you'll hear, no, you don't have that. Like, no, everyone has, that's what my dad told me. Everyone has ADHD. No, puppy, you have it. And so I have it.
That
right?
was my story too. I didn't know. Apparently I was as a child, and my mom, when I finally told her, she was like, oh yeah, we just didn't believe in medication. Okay, so I've just been raw dogging life.
Yeah. Yep. No, honestly, like that really is a big deal for me, because I think that like I spent a long time, I relate to this so much. So thank you so much for making this a topic. But like I spent a lot of time understanding I had anxiety very early in life. Like I knew that. Then depression, I got diagnosed with that. But then my son got diagnosed with ADHD real little. But I was like, okay, he has his thing, I have my thing, I guess. But like going through the process of getting prescribed things for anxiety and depression, and having like feeling like that fell down, like that went down the drain. Like I didn't feel like I was getting the real help I needed, and in some ways made certain things worse. So creating an anxiety around prescriptions. I think that it's just like a lot of times the medical system does not really take the time to really sit down and really assess things and really understand what they're seeing. So I think that there's something to be said for the anxiety that misdiagnosing or not fully investing in the full scope of what someone has going on. Like there's a trauma that that could be developed just because it's like, dude, I'm on these pills. I actually think I'm getting worse. Like I think this like triggered more panic attacks for me. I couldn't go to bed at night without feeling the impending doom coming. And it just was really bad for a while. So, and then of course, like I think about my parents, like I think both of them have it. And I don't think that they would ever know. My younger brother is super autistic. So it's like, I don't think any of us ever thought that it was hereditary the way it is.
What are your thoughts on?
Yeah,
or
sure.
your expertise on that? How it can be misunderstood and pretty much generational.
Yeah. I think that also when it's showing up like later in diagnosis, so like when you had your son, right, or when that's showing up later, they're also saying like, oh, you just had a baby, so you're postpartum, this happens, everyone feels this way, right? We're all like they attribute it to some other big part when it's perimenopause, like, oh, this is normal, menopausal women feel this way, perimenopausal women feel this way, and so it's put somewhere else. And then also like ADHD, anxiety, they look like sometimes there's like the inability to relax, right? The racing thoughts that are constant, that's seen in both of them. So I'll have clients that have ADHD and I'll give them an anxiety screener and it'll show that they have high anxiety, but no, they just have ADHD. Like they might have zero anxiety, but they're not worried about anything. But a lot of the symptoms kind of sit together. And so I think that that's very real. I think generationally, I think the last statistic I read, and don't quote me, but was like 75% of people that have ADHD have a parent that also have ADHD. And I think that number probably could be higher if some of our parents were diagnosed, right? Yeah. So I think that is probably much higher. And you said your son, I actually realized mine when I was picking it up on my son, right? So I remember speaking to my husband and I was like, oh, well, he does this, this, and this. And my husband's like, yeah, you too.
That's interesting that we're all seeing our sons.
So, I mean, it happens a lot.
Because Liam was also diagnosed, and that alerted me too. I was like, I'm seeing symptoms or displaying symptoms that he also has, but just later in life. So how do hormones, burnout, and we're going to go into perimenopause complicate your ADHD symptoms?
Yeah, there's a lot of good reasons. This is like a part that I geek out on. Hormones are such like a big deal when it comes to it. So like estrogen plays a part, not just in like making dopamine, but keeping it active, right? So we think about like postpartum, right? There's this big dip of estrogen, huge dip that happens afterwards. But also you have like this human, you're not sleeping. Sleeping is such a big key for ADHD. You need to sleep well. You need to move your body. You need to eat well for ADHD to like be at its best, right? You're not doing any of that when you're postpartum. You're on top of hormones being crazy, right? You're barely. And so then all of that kind of plays a part and we see a lot of brain fog, but it exasperates that for a lot of women. And so you'll hear people say, and I love this for all the other women that get to feel this, but like postpartum was great for me. I'm like, no, dude, no.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to be God's favorite?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was hard. And so I think that's because all of these symptoms are exacerbated by that hormonal shift. Same thing with perimenopause. Perimenopause is like huge fluctuations in estrogen and gradual dips. And therefore, our dopamine, which we need for focus, motivation, emotion regulation, starts to go down. So, I mean, that's also, I think, another reason why women are being diagnosed later on, because they're like, okay, something's wrong. I don't know. Everything in my life is normal. And now all of a sudden, I can't even remember my name, right? Or I can't even put a to-do list together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keisha, I know both you and Christina share in being postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all both have babies. Yours just turned 1 and yours just turned 2 in November. How do you feel that has played, especially y'all had children later in life, not to call y'all out. I'll be there soon.
Geriatric pregnancy.
What the medical field considers geriatric. It's just that, we're not upholding the Latino standards and having them at 19.
Okay.
But how do you feel that has contributed to your ADHD?
Honestly, I've never attributed the both of them together. Mm-hmm. I've never thought about that. I know that how can I say this? I'm not sure if this is even related, but I know that having Jiraiya, I felt like I had lost my cognitive functioning a little bit. Like I was constantly like far more distracted. I still feel that way more than ever before. But I always I always was like, well, it's because I have 2 children now and that's more. I have a business and that's been more so since he was born or since I was pregnant with him. And like, I'm doing all these things. I'm like, that's why. But truthfully, like, I know that, postpartum did affect me mentally. I just, I think that's what's kind of brought me to the place of being like, hey, I need to probably get the help of a professional at this point, because I feel like I am constantly losing like track of things, like no matter what, like even if I write it down, like I have a big old bulletin board and calendar at home and that's supposed to help make it better. And it kind of does, but it's like that stuff, everything just escapes me. So I'm like, I'm not quite sure if it's been because of postpartum or just ADHD getting worse because it hasn't been treated, but could be a combination of both.
It can be, yeah, especially two kids now, right? And your babies are like in different ages, different stages. So you're dealing with 2 different pieces of things. So it could definitely be a combination of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And diving deeper into motherhood, we all have the common ground of being Latinos. So that in itself is different, especially because we've been raised stateside. Christina, how have you personally done things differently, as far as what are some things that you've caught yourself to where you've been like, you know what, that's how it is culturally, but it ends with me. But also reparenting yourself. I feel like she and I constantly have a conversation about that, you don't want to go against the grain, but you see the end results and it's not good. So there needs to be a change. How does one come to that conclusion and not feel guilty? Because I feel like there's a lot of that associated with it. You don't want to, what am I trying to say? You don't want to kind of shit on the culture and what your parents have brought you up to be. But it's like, you know what, mommy, puppy, that's not working. That doesn't work now. And this isn't the 70s.
Right.
People aren't just beating their kids now. They're talking to them.
Yeah, we have conversations.
Yeah. I think that's, so I work with a lot of my clients, I wouldn't say most, but a good majority of my clients are either like first-gen Americans, second-gen Americans. A good chunk of them are Latino. I think that's very common in collectivist cultures, right? So I see that. I work with a lot of Asians, I work with a lot of Latinos. Like you see that in collectivist cultures, right? Where you want to say, like, you see the beauty in your culture, because there's so much beauty, right? Like today, I am so proud to be Puerto Rican, right? Like with everything, everything going on. Yes, I'm so proud. But at the same, but I know there's beauty in my culture, right? And like I share that with my kids. My kids see that beauty, but there's also parts of that in my culture that are not coming with. They're not coming with me, and they're not staying in here. I think boundaries. I think boundaries is a big one.
Yeah.
I think choosing yourself, right? Because in collectivist cultures, it's all about the group, which is great. There's always a group, right? There's always, someone asked me one time, were you an extrovert or an introvert as a kid? And I'm like, I didn't have a choice. I had like 30 cousins. What's a choice when you have 30 cousins? You talk, period, right?
Yeah. Or else.
And so I think, yeah, right. Saluda, right? You have to say hi to everybody. You have to. So I think I see it in, for me personally, is working with my kiddos and their boundaries. Like I've been really big about hearing them, letting them talk, speaking to them. The way I discipline is very different than I was disciplined. Different than the way my husband was disciplined. He's not Latino, but it was different the way he was disciplined. And so I think that that's one of the things that I'll see in the counseling room. I see like people coming in and wanting to set boundaries, wanting to say like, Mommy, I love you so much. We can't do this anymore. We can't do this way anymore. I'm doing it this way, or I'm choosing to not come to Christmas dinner or whatever that might be. And that be okay. Right. So I think there's like it's very blended when you come from two cultures, right? There's an expectation for you to like live the American dream, but still also be very much from your culture at home. And so it's hard to do both of those.
Something I just noticed, we're all eldest daughters too. How does that play a factor? Keisha, jump in, because I will get on my Oprah hat right now.
I'll jump in. No, honestly, like we don't suffer.
We're not allowed to.
We don't suffer. We're not going to suffer.
We're carry.
Yeah. We're not going to do that in my family. We're not going to do things because of optics. We're not going to do things because that's what my mom said or that's what grandma said. You're not going to do that if that's not, if it doesn't, bleed into our bottom line. I want to have purposeful raising. We don't just have traditions that make people feel good. We have traditions that are for my child's development. Yeah. My other both of my children's development. I'm more so talking about Orion right now because he's 16, right? But like if we do something, it's because I want him to learn something.
Yeah. There's purpose.
There's a purpose. It's not just because we don't want to make this person mad. There are people that are married to people right now because their mom said that they don't want them to marry a certain type of person. So now they're just kind of like, well, I have to please my mom by choosing my life partner around her expectations. And they cheating and doing everything else because they didn't want to be there. I don't want my children to ever learn that they need to please me. Pleasing me is the priority in anything. I want them to honor me because they truly respect my word and they see value in me as a woman and as a mother so that they can value other women genuinely. But we don't do things.
And you said optics
because of that. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah,
you said optics. I love that. I think perception, right? Perception's huge in our culture. How do we look? Are you behaved? Does that make us look like a good family? I remember being told I represent the family when I walk out, right? Yeah. So perception's such a big thing in our culture. And I think in a lot of collectivist cultures and perception, I love that. I think that's something that we definitely push too. If my kid's throwing a tantrum, it's because she's 3.
Yeah, that's what happened.
This is the first time she's been here.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to talk good.
3. Right. She talk a lot, but you're right. She doesn't know how. And so it's okay if you think that makes me look like a bad mom, cool, but I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about her being able to trust that her emotions are safe here. Right. I'm worried about, like you said, your kids being able to, they're not listening to you because of fear. They're listening to you because of trust, because that was built, right? Because they know mommy's going to tell me something that is good for me. She's always looking for the best for me, not for the best of what it looks like to everybody else, right?
Building them up rather than...
I think that's what a lot of us are doing.
Right. Yes. My parents do not come before my kids. My parents were here to create this beautiful legacy, but they're not here to be thrown in the place of my children. I think sometimes a Latino family gets that twisted as a Latina. But on top of that, I think something that's good is the collectivism. I like a non-individualistic culture. We need each other. We need community. And I think that that's one thing that our people do pretty well, is making sure that they
I agree.
are in each
There's
other's
beauty
face.
in our culture.
Yeah.
Yes. There's beauty in our culture. I had a cousin that passed about almost 2 years ago, and the way that my family came together and we were able to heal, or we are healing. I don't know if we're never going to fully heal from that, but we're healing because we're doing it together. It's not alone, right? And so I think that, you're right. There's just beauty in the food, man. You can't top the food.
A good seasoning.
That's not toxic. That's delicious.
Delish. Okay. And they be making it outside. You know what I'm saying? At the fire pit. If you really go into if you go to Panama, I'm sure there's places in Puerto Rico as well. Baby, they outside. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was not meant to be a pioneer.
Oh, no.
Not me.
Okay, she's a ciudad girl.
I'm a certified city girl.
Chica de la ciudad.
Yes. What patterns, Christina?
Not del barrio.
Yeah, no, I'm not Shani del Barrio, okay? No,
Maria Barrio soy.
No,
I don't know if that's even right. You know what I'm talking about?
No, what did you say?
Maria del Barrio?
Del barrio.
Del Barrio, yeah.
Oh my God.
Come on, Mami, all that.
This is hitting more because someone in my family adopted somebody, and that was the nickname that she was given.
Oh, okay.
But we love her, okay? She started from the bottom, now she's here.
Okay.
And she has traveled to three different countries. I know baby girl was not thinking that she was about to leave Panama and travel the world.
Whatever.
She got stamps, okay?
Okay.
We love Mari del Barrio, okay?
Mari de la ciudad.
Exactly, from los
Del
Estados Unidos
mundo.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Del mundo.
Go ahead, Shani. Go ahead now.
So I feel like, okay, so quick thing. I know this wasn't on here, but you can give me you're the perfect person to give me this input. So this past week, I kind of got into it with the Uber delivery driver. We'll go into that
really
with
good.
another thing. But what ended happening, que yo soy morena. I always say I'm black first. People don't care what I speak, what my first language was at home. I'm always black first. I had an argument is what it was with the lady, and she ended up leaving. And when she left, she ended up calling me a black bitch. Pero me lo llamó en español. And I was like, oh, level up, homie. Now you want to go there? You're raising biracial babies, bicultural babies.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. What? So she was
Cuban. She was Cuban, and because she was pissed off, the only thing that she could come after I read her for her filth was my color.
Was her husband black?
He was white.
Okay.
Or white passing. I don't know what the hell he was, but he was not black. Right. So
it was a close one.
Something that got me was like, why is it, and I know the diaspora and all of that, why is it with some Latinos, it is crazy for them to even acknowledge their blackness. Now she, my baby is highly melanated and lacking, even though I birthed him. But he identifies as a black man.
He has your whole face.
Okay.
He has your whole face.
But it's so hurtful when I see my people that I'm black first, but in my house it was Panama. So why is it that amongst ourselves there's such hate for black people? Like for her, that was like a straight knife to me. What she thought. I was like, girl, we brought you drums. We brought you seasoning. So many of those things that you claim.
And bitch, you're Cuban. They're gonna listen to reggae before they listen to merengue. Hello?
You would never have any of these things if it wasn't for a black bitch like me. What is it? Because I know you're proud about your black ancestry, being from Puerto Rico. I don't even know where my question is, but I know because you are fair complected in comparison to me.
Oh yeah.
What have you seen? And now that you have melanated babies,
I do.
how do you instill in them to not have hatred towards who they are?
Mm-hmm. I think we were very careful with where we lived. Right? And so that was big for us. We wanted to make sure we lived in a place that was very diverse because we didn't want our kids to see. They wanted to see the diversity. My kids are they're Black, Asian, Hispanic, and we teach about all of their cultures. Like that's something that's really big for me. Right? They see all of their family members. We talk about. It's easier for me to teach about Puerto Rico, but I will go on about Thailand if I need to. And I'm going to learn and I'm going to read the folk stories and I'm going to do all that stuff because I want my kids to know everything that they are, right? I can't cook like my mother-in-law, but I'll get there one day.
Okay.
No, I won't.
Practice makes perfect, though. You may get there. Close.
But I think a lot of our culture, colonization's bad for your health, right? And that's what happened in our culture. Colonization kind of took the reins there. And so that plays a big part, right? When we're trying to not be the bottom.
Yeah.
And that just plays it. There's so many different aspects to it in colorism, but I think that there's my kids, I think my kids don't really, I know it sounds crazy, but like we don't really focus on anyone being different because of what they look like, right? Yeah. They might be different because their mommy lets them play video games on the weekdays. Mm-hmm. And that just means they're different because they can play video games on the weekdays and our PlayStation only works on the weekends. It doesn't work on the week. It doesn't turn on the weekend.
Not based solely on
those
color.
Kind of things, right? My kids don't, right? Nothing. I remember asking my kid one time, asking him like, well, what did the kid, like some kid was picking on him. I said, what does he look like? Cause I want to see on the bus. Who's this kid? Mm-hmm. Right. I'm a therapist, but I'm a mom first. Okay. And he was like, he was like, he got a red backpack. He got nothing about how he looked. He has a red backpack. I think he sometimes wears hats. His hair looks like this. I'm like, so what is this? Is the worst description? If the police had to draw this kid, we would have no idea. Nothing. If they had to draw this kid. But that made me so happy to think that that's not something he looks at, right? Yeah. He doesn't even see that. And I don't mean it that he's going to ignore it because he knows this weekend we're wearing our Puerto Rican jerseys. Okay. We're going to have flags in the house. Like he knows when we go to Puerto Rico, he knows that it's Black History Month and he knows that he's a little Black boy. But like, he knows that like, that is something he's proud of, but not something he judges for. So I think that, again, moving away from perception, moving away from optics and what it looks like and how to be, and then competitiveness, right? Like we're not looking to compete with people and find ways that we can be better. Too when I'm raising.
I wanted to do two things. So the first thing is I wanted to double back to whenever I asked you if old girl's husband was Black. That ain't got nothing to do with me having a preference for, Black men or like biracial, relationships. It was more so because I heard all of the story and if he was okay and neutral while she was called a Black bitch. I would have been like, that's a little effed up. But anyway, so the second thing I wanted to say is that a really sad truth that I actually heard someone say was, when people immigrate here, they don't come here to fit in with Black folks. They come in here for the white American dream, to assimilate into white culture, to be because that's their idea of prosperity.
Believe white is pure, but honey, furthest thing from it. We're not going to get on my Trump tip. We don't have enough time for that.
Let's not do that today. But I'm sure he'll fuck up some more, that we'll have some more stuff to talk about. But, like that's the sad truth sometimes of our families. And I hate a diaspora war. I hate to see that. I hate whenever people dismiss us as Afro-Latinas because our parents are from somewhere else. Let me tell you, my Black ass was at the same school with the same nap ass hair. Remember the Jerry Curl story? My ass was right at the school as well, being called all kinds of stuff for being nappy headed. I was called a burnt troll in middle school by niggas. By niggas. It would never be whites. You know what I'm saying? And we can get into that in another episode.
Yes, we're in in a crossroads where it's like you hear all the time, you're not black enough, you're not Latino enough.
Right.
Like, what the hell am I then?
People like stay in your lane. What you don't understand is that my older brother,
my lane.
Right, my older brother will go to Panama and get arrested quicker there for being black and having a little bit of money because he's here. So you don't understand that racism, unfortunately, is against us freaking everywhere. Yeah. It's not just here. So, so I want people to understand, like, instead of looking at us sometimes and being like, y'all not even black, the fuck, like, whenever people say Cardi B's not black, I get mad because I'm like, I understand what you're trying to say. I understand what you're wrapping that up in.
My ship just landed in another place.
She's literally like, if she ain't black, Nikki ain't black, but we ain't talking about that bitch.
Cancel. She canceled. We don't even know who that is.
Nikki and somebody else. I don't know. Nikki Muniz from across the street. Nikki Richardson from Trinidad. So, okay.
We're going to have to bring you back on because I know that this is something she's also passionate about.
Nicki Minaj?
No, well, I don't know.
No.
Is it Starships? Let's go to the beach.
Diaspora. Black studies.
Yes. No, but I hate that I hate that we have contributed to it. Not we, but you know, there are times where we contribute to that shit. And I think I was ignorant at some point and some years ago, not understanding why you don't see that we're all sisters and brothers. And I've said some things in the past. I don't give, like, you know, but I'm just saying, like, I understand it now because of situations like this where people really equate their Latinoism to being not black adjacent. We're a little better. Even Africans, I don't give a damn. We talk about them too. Like, you know.
They cannot be African Americans.
No,
we not I don't know. I don't remember what the Afro Americans. Some of them say that, but it's like we're all brothers and sisters, and I think that when we take accountability, you know, and understand each other, then I think that would help to just kind of heal. There's always a problem, but we're all dealing with it. We all deal with it in different ways. Yes.
Yeah.
That took a left turn.
It was the right turn because we was talking about this.
Okay, we were.
This was on the sheet.
Oh my God, I segued into that.
You did.
I even made these and I forgot. But I know Andrew looked at us. I definitely want to ask you some questions and make sure that people know where to find you. My girl is launching by the time that this is out. Her website is going to be up. She is taking new clients. So if you're looking for a therapist, you need one. And Christina's available. So Christina, tell people where they can find you.
Yeah. So I launched my private practice last year in May. And we're going full private practice this year, so we're excited. We, as in my husband and I, he's not even a therapist, but whatever, he's my partner. So
you're Kris Jenner. That's right.
Say what?
You're Kris Jenner. Your manager.
You're doing great, sweetie. You're doing great, sweetie.
No, I'm Kris Jenner. Anyway,
Kris Jenner with a CH.
So tpwtherapy.com. The path within is but tpwtherapy.com, and then on Instagram you can find me at the Path Within Therapy. Reach out.
And again, let people know what you specialize in. I'm sure that you'll take anybody who needs help, but this is specifically what you specialize in.
Yeah. So I work a lot with caregivers and parents. I work also with individuals late diagnosed ADHD or people parenting ADHD, and then also first gen, second gen individuals, people just like in life transitions, I think is a big piece of what I do.
Now, if someone listening feels seen but overwhelmed, what would you want them to know? And what do you want them to take away from this episode?
Yeah. So I think if you feel seen, right, that means that you're able to identify things about yourself, right? You're able to identify, you're able to see patterns or acknowledge patterns. And so that's the first step. That's a really good sign of like, okay, this is something's up. Overwhelmed makes a lot of sense, right? Because we lived with certain rules in the way that we've lived our life for a long time. And so getting to this place, but you know yourself more than anybody. And that first step you took says a lot. Reach out to a therapist, reach out to, if individual therapy is scary, look for a group therapy group that would be good. You know yourself more than anyone, and you can change that. You can change the overwhelmment. Don't change you. Keep you.
I know, that's right. Andrew's giving us the thing, so no sé si se va a cortar o si ya se cortó. Keisha, do you have any parting words?
My parting words are thank you so much for being here today, Christina, on Beyonce's favorite podcast, because you know she watches us. Okay?
Beyonce and Blue watch this. H-Town, she's in H-Town.
Okay.
So she's their neighbor.
Amen. All the Houston hotties watch this.
Hey.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in
for having me.
to Hot Mess Millennials. Christina, thank you. This won't be the last time that we see her. Until next time, we're Hot Mess Millennial.
Right.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.